It's look at my leg. Get your leg out of that, Rowan. That's dreadful. And a lovely, lovely candelabra there. We'll be talking about that presently. You can open the shot up now, if you would, Ryan, and bring it back to my guest and Rowan here in studio. Raymond McCabe, you're most welcome.
Morning,
How are
Ron.
you this morning?
Very good, thank you.
Once again, we're talking antiques. This is one of a pair. This particular candelabra here, solid silver, perhaps German silver.
We think it's German going by the hallmarks, but the hallmarks are very small and hard to identify on it. It's probably German, or it's definitely Dutch.
Yeah.
Year could be around 1880, 1890.
My goodness. And we believe that this has a provenance that links Newry with Africa.
Yeah, it was acquired through a relation of Bishop Carroll's.
Archbishop Francis
yeah.
Carroll of the Society of African Missions.
And that would be the connection with Africa.
We believe it may have been presented to Archbishop Carroll
Yes.
in Africa because he did enormous work in Liberia, Cape Palmas, bringing education there. So out of Newry, he was the son of a docker in Newry. And the most extraordinary story, his father died unloading coal in a boat in Newry Basin.
In Newry?
The coal was being lifted in the bucket of a crane, and it was being driven, the operator of the crane taking the coal up, and as it lifted, a lump of coal fell and hit Archbishop Carroll's father on the head, killing him instantly. And the man who was driving the crane was Archbishop Carroll's grandfather, the father of the man
Sure. What a story.
hit by the coal. So I rather think that this here, coming from the Carroll family, that this here would have been presented to the Archbishop in Liberia, and it would have been presented in recognition of the service he performed
I
for the
assume that
people
would be
of
the
there.
case, yeah.
And he was also awarded, he was the papal nuncio to that part of the world, and he was also awarded the Star of Africa decoration for
Very
his
good.
work. So this is the sort of stuff that comes your way only once in a while, I rather think.
Occasionally this comes, as it says, there's a pair of them, and my daughter was frantically polishing it before we took it in.
She did a good job on it. Yeah.
The other one is black, by the way, the match
I
of it.
understand.
It's just a very unusual piece, and with the story, the link to Newry, pieces like this don't come up that often. Silver, this is solid silver, by the way.
Yes,
Isn't a lot
this
of
is the real
pieces,
McCoy.
yeah, a lot of pieces were electroplate, where they just put a coating of silver over copper.
Yeah.
You rarely get these pieces coming up, and candelabras are still fashionable, believe it or not only for liberal archery.
No, but
for
you
other
have it
people.
at a fine dining
Yeah.
table. You know, if you come to my house of a Saturday night for dinner, yourself and Mary and myself and my first wife, my second wife, wife number 3 as well, we'd settle down, we'd have a lovely dinner.
Right.
There would be a set of candelabra on the table, and the waiters would bring us. And you'd be well looked after.
Oh, as you do, as you do.
You'd be thrilled. You'd be
As you
thrilled.
do.
So in the keeping of this kind of thing, it goes, the silver blackens over the years. Easy to keep them unblackened, so to speak.
Well, if you keep them in a glass case, it'll lengthen the polishing,
Yeah.
where you wouldn't have to clean it just as much.
But really, we need to use things.
We
like
need to
this.
use them, but silver's not very popular at the moment. Who
Really?
wants silver? It's being put away in attics and boxes and wrapped up, and display cabinets aren't being used, trophies aren't out in show.
We used to call them china cabinets.
China cabinets.
Do you remember?
I do indeed, yeah.
Goodness gracious. Many's the china cabinet you sold down in Mary Street.
Yeah, and then later on in life, they were gathered to go to the States. The States, they were shipped to England and then shipped out to the States, small china cabinets.
Is it true that your grandfather, when he was the second generation to come here, his father brought the business to Newry, basically on the train? They would come up every Thursday in one of these big baskets. Everything would be put into it, and then taken on a railway trolley up into Mary Street, where it was sold. Is it true that at times your great-grandfather, who started the business, and possibly your grandfather, would have gone to Scotland to gather the goods?
It's actually my father started going to Scotland.
Really? Yes.
Yeah, that's McCabe. He went at the age of 14 to 15. And some of the furniture came into Newry and the canal on top of the sugar boats.
Wow.
And the other story I've always heard was they would go to Belfast to lift it off the top of the open boats, and they would come in on a net. And, well, if you didn't pay the dockers right, some of the nets would break and crash and so on.
Well, I would say Johnny McCabe always would have paid the dockers right.
Yeah.
Because being a Belfast man, he would have known the story without a shadow of a doubt. The other thing, away from antiques, which you specialise in, it's always interesting. I have a grandson who's a magnificent pianist, Michael McCartan, and pianos. You would specialise in pianos.
We do new reconditioned, and we recondition pianos, tune them, and sell.
Well, how would you tune them? You don't have a note in your head.
Oh no, well, ABC.
I'm terribly sorry for saying that to you.
Yeah, we have an outside tuner.
Yeah.
We use a chap from Armagh, very good chap. He comes down and tunes pianos. But we would recondition them, like the cases and so on.
Yeah.
But we sell mostly new.
Yeah.
Would be sold, and as I say, reconditioned. We have a showroom with about 30, 40 pianos in it.
What's the Stradivarius of the piano world at the moment? The very best?
Well, the most popular at the minute would be Yamaha.
Yamaha.
The older version would be Steinway.
Ah, yeah.
Backstein.
Yeah.
Butzenhofner, which is very hard to get, very rare. And there's numerous other German and Austrian names. All pianos now are really made in the Far East. There's no pianos made in Asia, in Europe.
In Europe. That's amazing.
It
almost sounds sacrilegious.
It does, but I suppose it's down. People want something at a price. They're still as good, the pianos, as new. The brains of Germany and the northern European countries have gone out to Asia and are under license are producing the pianos.
My goodness, my goodness. So, reproduction end of things still going. You no longer travel to the Far East and all over the world. You don't have to do that anymore.
No.
You did that in the days before the internet.
Made contacts, made very good contacts, and know a lot of families out there and continue to do business with them. Reproduction type furniture has changed. We're now into oak, and pine's even gone as well. It's not fashionable at the moment. Painted furniture is very fashionable at the moment.
Saying, yeah.
And it just keeps coming around in circles.
Plain oak is important. Nice oak. Solid, strong, plain oak.
Yeah.
I think that's what you got for me.
It is.
Is it? It is
But
oak.
fashions are changing, and you'll have to go for something different.
I'm not buying another bed. I can't afford to buy another bed. This one is nowhere near worn out, I tell you. No, not at all. But we'll have to see. Yeah.
But fashion keeps changing with different woods and people's different look. In fact, you mentioned the word China cabinet.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that display cabinets are coming back in.
Display cabinets.
Display cabinets.
Yeah.
That's display goods, not put them in the attic.
Just in case you meddle at some game.
Meddle.
Did you ever hear the like of it in your life? But did you ever hear that word?
No.
He meddled at the Commonwealth Games, i.e., he won a medal, either gold, silver, or bronze. He meddled. Never heard it.
Never heard it.
And they're how dare they do these things to the language? You know, the people of the rainbow persuasion, they stole that other wonderful word, gay.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm gay, but I'm not homosexual.
Right.
And it's very important to say those things.
Yes.
I'm taking that word back for the people of the world. How dare anyone meddled? I never heard the like of it in my life. So, in antiques, what should we be investing in if we have a few bob at the moment, or if we go into Brendan and say, "Hello, Brendan. I'd like a loan from Credit Union. I want to invest in antiques. How much should I be getting, and what should I be looking for?" Modest investment.
Antiques, there's new antiques. Anything of good quality. To me, what does the word antique mean? 100 years old?
Oh, yes.
Buy what you like and buy with your eye.
Buy with your eye.
And if you like it bad, you'll put it in the house somewhere, and everything will come back again. Yeah. I don't know if everybody's going to be out like years ago, your mother and so on, polishing the brass and polishing the silver. Them days are gone.
Do you remember do you remember the half moon at the doorsteps?
I do indeed.
The women would kneel in the hall, facing out onto the street, and they'd reach out as far as they could, and they'd scrub all the way around, more water, and they'd scrub And that was lovely.
And then the bucket of water was thrown on the street.
Thrown on the street.
And the smell of bleach.
Bleach.
Yeah.
Honest to goodness.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing a woman a great service once. I said to her, she was of a certain age, and I was trying to praise her. And I said, dearest lady, always remember, grandmothers, older ladies are merely antique girls.
Right.
Wasn't a good move.
No.
She didn't like it.
No.
But I thought it was a modicum of thought would have told her what I really meant. But anyway, I don't praise women so much anymore. That happens when you get older.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know. You're not
No,
old.
I wouldn't know.
No,
I won't go into that.
Listen, you're travelling away today.
Yes.
You have a funeral to
Yeah, I
go
have a
to.
friend's funeral
Down
up in
in
Finton.
Oldham. Well, listen, we wish you good journey.
Thank you very much.
Go well, and thanks for bringing that.
Not
in
at all.
to
You're
us.
very welcome.
And isn't it interesting that this piece of silverware, presented by the government of, I would really think, the government of Liberia, 50 years ago, more than 50 years ago, 70 years ago, to Archbishop Francis Carroll of Newry, of the Society of African Missions, the son of a Newry docker, went there, made a difference, created schools, and as a consequence of Archbishop Francis Carroll, girls and women in Liberia started to receive education. So well done to Archbishop Carroll. We're heading towards a blue plaque for him from
Very
the
good.
Ulster Hills
Yeah,
History Circle, and that's going to happen. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you
We
very
wish
much,
you well.
Rowan.
Take
Thank you.
care.
Thank you.
You're with Destination Newry. It is Rowan Hand, your host. I hope you stay with us until 10:30 Irish time this morning.